Twitch. Oops. Let's make sure I lock those in place. There. Alright, so welcome to week 2 of semester 2. Last week we covered the Andrew Loomis Heads, which are the foundation of the skulls we're going to be drawing today. If this is your first time here, don't worry. I'll be doing a demonstration of Loomis Heads in addition as the foundation for what we're going to be doing on these skulls. But be ready, we're going to spend this first half hour me introducing you to what we're going to be doing, and then the rest of the session we're going to be spending drawing. So be ready to take lots of notes. First off, I'm going to introduce you to some of the study materials we're going to be using today. Some of them include a Sketchfab page that I've been sharing continuously that collects a bunch of 3D model reference of heads, including skulls and other things that we've been using continually throughout this free drawing class. So I'm going to share those in Discord chat and in Twitch chat real quick. The Sketchfab link to the collection of heads, so you can use them yourself on your own time. I also show you, I'm trying to collect, I had a collection of skulls for the last semester, but I kind of need to get that from the old computer that I have. So I have some skulls that we're going to probably be doing stuff from tonight, but mainly what we're going to be using is the 3D Sketchfab stuff. But yeah, here's my PureRef file with a bunch of the skulls I collected. There is honestly enough here to work with for the evening, in addition to the 3D model stuff we have. But I wanted to yoink my old collection of skulls from my old system. Oh well. I'll have that I might be able to share that in Discord for people to use later on their own time once I yoink that off my old computer. But anyway, for the time being, here let me share the Sketchfab link in the Twitch too, real fast. Someone in Twitch mentions I got a skull with me. Yeah, if you have a good model reference skull, like not a warpy kind of like Halloween store skull or something, if you get like a good art anatomy reference skull to study from, that would be ideal. I'm eventually going to pick up one of those myself in real life, but like for the time being, I'm concentrating on actually raising money to get a John Asaro head for one of our future, sessions. We're going to be studying from the John Asaro head, which is a planar sculpture head that breaks down the human head into like different simplified planes and stuff. Interestingly enough, I got there's this thing for Half-Life Alyx that was released to Steam called Half-Life Alyx: The Final Hours. It shows a 3D tour of Valve's offices, and actually let me bring that up on stream real quick, because it's better if I can just like jump right in there and show you it. But I just want to show you this just real fast. If I can get this playing on the actual stream, if I can pull that over to this. There we go. So yeah, this is Half-Life Alyx: The Final Hours. It's basically an ebook on Steam on like the making of Alyx, and it's got a bunch of really cool shit in there, like tons of cool concept art and tons of other things. I particularly like the stuff about the animation development. Let's see here. It's hard for me to see the cursor at 4K. Let's see if I can change that. There we go. So in the office tour of Valve's offices, I noticed something very interesting down here. This is the animator area down here. There's a lot of animators' desks here. I can show you how I know it's the animator area, because this guy has a mirror here, and mirrors are very important for animators for referencing their own facial expression when they're doing animation. This person also has a keypad here with a keypad here for Maya shortcuts and stuff. So one of the things I noticed over here is right tucked away in this corner behind this screen here, that is an Asaro head right there. That is what I'm planning on ordering once I make the donation goal for it. But yeah, the facial expressions and structure of the human face were really important for Half-Life. I don't know what this particular person did, but I do know that they referenced, look at that, there's a book on anatomy of human expressions down there. I do know that they reference like human facial anatomy a lot for like the facial expressions in this. Anyways, I'm gonna dip out of this. I just wanted to show that. I've been showing this off the last 3 days or so since I got it. It's hugely inspirational. I strongly recommend getting this. Hang on, the mouse is really hard to spot in this. There it is. I'm just gonna close out this. Alright. Yeah, 4K mouse is really hard to spot. Okay, so what I'm gonna start us off with right now is I'm going to have us doing some draw along where you guys can take notes about what I'm doing, and I'm going to try to break things down for the beginners. What we're going to be doing this evening, we're going to do 3 poses of the head of the skull, from straight on, profile view, and 3/4. Those are each going to be 25-minute drawings. If you finish a little early, like I might finish a little early, you can do another one. Or you can maybe try adding more detail to the one that you're doing or something, or try adding features to it or something. But we're going to be meditating on an individual pose of the skull for 25 minutes for three 25-minute sessions with 5-minute breaks. And then after that, we're going to be doing skull quick sketch. So another thing there's 2 other things I wanted to mention real quick before class. One of them is that I've launched my Patreon, or the alpha version of my Patreon, because I have not completely worked out my pay models yet, even though it is launched. But I wanted to at least launch it to show it off to people, so that I could like troubleshoot some of these things and maybe adjust the pay scales or adjust different things that I have available on it. If anyone has any suggestions or feedback. So this is my Patreon as it is right now. I've got a thank you tier that currently does nothing other than give me a thank you and $1. I may actually add some additional things to that. There's a $5 tier which gives you high quality images of my class demos, and I'm also going to be including high quality images of my sketchbook diary and other things like that in the future too. There's a $25 tier right now, which I worry might be a little bit up there. I might lower this to 15, but I don't know yet. The reason why it's 25 is because I'm planning on possibly including animation stuff in here too. And animation files can tend to be really big in the future. Yeah, like what I said there. But in this tier, you get the high quality images, and you get access to my class demo, Clip Studio, and PSD files. But anyway, currently I just start out. I just like launched it yesterday, so I've only got 2 patrons so far, 2 early comers. But yeah, I would love feedback on what you guys think about the payment scale. If it's too much, if it's too little, or if there's additional things I could add to this. Like I'm planning on maybe a patron exclusive Discord, or like some kind of a specialized study group just for patrons. The other thing I wanted to show is my Ko-fi page. Here. So my Ko-fi page, which I will link both the Patreon and this in chat. But I'm currently working on a goal towards that what I just showed in the Valve thing on getting the Asaro head, a physical version of the Asaro head, so I can photograph it for class. And I can also physically study from it. We have 3D models of the Asaro head that we're going to be studying from, but I want to hopefully save up to get with donations from people, save up for one of the Asaro heads, which are these puppies right here from the Plains of the Head site. I've already touched on this stuff before. I'm just going to touch on it again real quick, so then we're going to move along. But yeah, these, whoops, it's a YouTube page. Yeah, these things are super useful. I highly recommend getting a John Asaro head of your own. One of these guys. And yeah, we're going to be studying from a 3D model version of this thing and photo reference of this thing in like I think about 4 weeks from now or so, 3 or 4 weeks from now, we're going to be studying from this guy. Hopefully I can get the money raised to buy a physical version of this, although it probably won't arrive before then, but we'll see. But yeah, hopefully if you want to support the class and upgrade my ability to teach, you can send me donations directly via Ko-fi or subscribe to me on Patreon. And I would very much love feedback on what I've done with my Patreon so far, so I can adjust payment and I can come up with different so I can come up with different incentives and other things for people to sign on. But yeah, anyway, so we're going to move on in a sec after I get my links for this stuff in chat, and then we're going to start our studies for the evening. There we go. All right, so enough of the advertising plugs. We're going to get to the meat of what we're going to be doing this evening now. All right, so first thing I'm going to bring up is the 3D reference that we're going to be using. There's a bunch of stuff here. It's going to be really handy for this evening. I'm going to be going maybe over some Gottfried Bombas skulls too while I'm at it. But let's see here. So the ones that I like to use on this so far that I found through the Sketchfab site is these two skulls here, these two planar looking skulls here. I want to kind of stick with these, although we will use the photo reference stuff too. But like sticking with something like this for now would kind of help us get warmed up a bit. So first things first, we're going to be drawing a straight-on view of the skull. And I'm going to do a straight-on demo of the skull for you all here. The thing about this is, like, you don't necessarily have to follow the planes exactly that are on this 3D model. I want you to try to basically just sort of interpret it and kind of do your best at it. But you're going to start, when you do these, you're going to start by doing the Loomis Head. Now the Loomis Head, I'll do a quick demonstration of what one is. Here's hang on one sec. Let's make sure I have the real, okay. So the Loomis Head functionally starts off as a sphere that has, I'll just erase some of that spill over there. A Loomis Head is functionally a sphere that has like its sides chopped off like this. And then from there you can use these kind of guidelines on this little kind of side that's been chopped off with a cross pattern in there. That's the brow line wrapping over the sphere of the head. And then that is the top of the head right there. What you can do, you can also create a diagonal line here to find about where the hairline is. And then you can find where the peak of the head is from here, and then create a line that drops down through here. Create your kind of center line dropping down through the face. And then you have a measurement to work from for your first rule of thirds, which is like this. Measuring from the brow, this should be from the brow here to the hairline there. You have your first third measurement, and you can use the same measurement down here to find roughly where the bottom of the nose is. Use another third right here to find roughly where the bottom of the chin is. And then drop off the side of the face a little ways like that, and you link up the jawline like that. And you can use the side of the face to create the plane change that goes on the side of the face there. So essentially, Loomis Head is that. I did a bunch of Loomis Head demos, like in practice yesterday, that are up on my Patreon right now. But basically for this, the Loomis Head is going to be how you start doing your skull drawings. I want you to do a Loomis Head to the best of your ability. And if you're new to this, it's okay. I'm going to go slow. So we have about 15 more minutes in this little period here. So I'm going to set the timer for about 15 minutes. I'm going to try to do a 15-minute skull demo. Maybe I'll do I'll actually do a 3/4 for my starting one, because 3/4 is a little easier to do than straight on, because of symmetry is a lot harder to do than a 3/4 view. So I'm going to turn this skull about here-ish, I would say. Or actually here, let's see, maybe I should turn it the other way. About there. So feel free to draw along, but I'm going to make use of a Loomis Head to break this guy down. Okay, Google, set timer for 15 minutes.
All right, 15 minutes, and that's starting now.
So, I'll get that on full screen real quick, jeez. So you can actually buy this guy. I'm using like the preview mode to do the drawing reference from it, but that model you could buy for $9, then bring into a 3D app or something, which might be worth it. I might consider getting stuff like that in the future too. Yeah, Coffee is a one-time payment. Coffee is just the Ko-fi page is one-time payment. Patreon is like for monthly payment. You can also subscribe to me on Twitch or send me bits on Twitch as well. But anyway, so starting with a Loomis Head. Start with a sphere. And then I'm going to try to find the side plane of the head here, just about. And I'm not looking for perfection here. I'm trying to keep a little loose. Just kind of in the ballpark of what I know about this stuff. It's like I'll make little corrections here and there and so on, but you shouldn't tighten yourself up on this. Like, you should do a lot of these, and then and stay loose. You can scrutinize yourself to different degrees as the more of these you do. And the idea is to get lots of mileage at it. And that's what we're going to be doing tonight. We're going to be doing slow 25-minute versions of these from the different angles. And then I want people doing quick sketch, sort of imperfect, but like reiterating the ideas and playing with the ideas that we just went over about how the skull is made, or how the skull is constructed. So let's see here, like that. So I've got a basic Loomis Head right here. If you need help on learning how to do it, like handle this how the side planes get chopped off, I would recommend using the there's some Loomis Heads with the sides chopped off in the hang on one sec. Why is that? Where's the web page save thing over there open? That's annoying. Sorry, I'll try to adjust this. Sorry, I'm working with a 4K display setup over here, trying to experiment with a different setup, and it's proving a little difficult to go from a regular size mouse to like an itty bitty cursor on a 4K TV. I'll try to like work a better setup for this throughout the week. But anyway, So I started with this. I'm maybe going to lower opacity on this so I can play with it a little bit more. But from here, I'm going to maybe kind of start with the brow ridge. Maybe get like something around the edges, kind of like that. Just sort of get some of the notches of the brow in there. And I'm not strictly like following the reference here. So I'm not like copying the planes exactly. I'm just using it as kind of a guidepost a little bit. Because I'm trying not to really copy, I'm trying to kind of understand what I'm drawing. Another time I might like really slow down and do a meticulous, careful read like copy of a 3D model like this, but that would take more time and effort than I need to expend for the purposes of this demo. And that's something that would be definitely valuable to do, and I would suggest doing on your own time. But I don't think 25 minutes is enough time to really do it justice. Instead, you're going to get kind of a decent approximation of what you're kind of learning from. And the idea is to take a few bits and pieces from it every time you do them. You get a little bit better at them every time you draw from one of these reference things. And I haven't drawn using this thing in a while, so you're going to get to see me get better at using this in real time. So what I'm doing here is I'm establishing the eyes right here along the brow line, the eye sockets, establishing the top plane of the nose here, kind of as like kind of a box, the top of like sort of a boxy shape. Here's the side plane of the nose coming off of this plane right here, which I'm using a very simplified plane for the front of the face and like where the cheekbones kind of come off here. And so now I want to use a shape that I'm fond of using for the two-cylinder, where I start about here and I come down, creating a shape inside the interior here for kind of working out about where the two-cylinder is. Then on the chin down here, I pull up this little triangle wedge up here, following like the center line of the face, kind of what I have here. I might erase a little bit of this so I can connect that part of the cheekbone to the rest of the face, or to the two-cylinder there. You notice like the way I drew this thing, it's more of a down tilt angle than the references, a little bit. But I'm just kind of going with it. So about here is roughly the brow line. About here would be like the center line of the head, somewhere in that, like there-ish. So the bottoms of the ears, maybe be about here-ish, I want to say. But we can kind of use the zygomatic arch here, which is that bony protrusion that comes out of the side of your face, to arc up over there. We add a little bit of how the brow fuses to the zygomatic arch right here. Just gonna erase a little bit of that. I'm going back in and I'm defining the nose hole a little better. So the zygomatic arch is a very interesting bony protrusion that fuses to the skull and has a gap about here. the jaw hinges on it, off of it a little bit at the end here somewhere. So I'm going to add the jaw right now. Bring the teeth cylinder back a little bit more, I think. So let's zoom back and see if there's anything major I should probably adjust. Yeah, I think building off the jaw a little bit would be helpful. But anyway, the Zygomatic Arch, the way it works is there's muscles that are fused to kind of like the side plane of your head, something like this, that connect down through that little gap there, and then wrap around the side of your jaw. And that's what lets you hinge your jaw open and closed. Yeah, let's see here. Toss these into a folder, lower the opacity. Let's flip that guy real quick. Yeah, the back of the head needs to be built off a little bit more, I think. I'm still getting warmed up into this too. Like, this is going to be my drawing mileage as much as it is y'all of yours. After we get done with this one, okay Google, how much time left on timer? Okay Google, how much time left on timer?
T minus 4 minutes and 10 seconds.
Nice. After we get done on this one, we're going to be moving on to, we're going to be doing a 5-minute break, and then we will move on to our 25-minute drawings. I'll do them together in for 3 head poses of front, 3/4, and profile view before moving on to quick sketch. Yeah, some of the things to note when you're doing these that I want you to pay attention to. The planes of the head, the planes of the skull, the top, the front, and the side, and the back, like this. You can kind of use like circle shapes to sort of help you define them a little bit. And when you're doing like the brow, you can kind of simplify it as almost kind of like a pair of sunglasses, sort of. Or think of it that way. Someone's asking for the skull model and people are trying to post links in chat. I'll post it during the break. Don't worry. Also, you can kind of do what I'm doing when you're doing these. Like, after you do one drawing of it, maybe lower the opacity on it and see if you can go back through and adjust it and draw over it again. Try to understand. Like, the goal here is to not get pretty drawings. The goal here is to try to understand the skull from observation, from breaking down the planes of the head bit by bit. We're trying to wrap our heads around a very complicated object using the starting point of the Loomis Head. So I'm not expecting perfect skulls out of anyone for this. Like, this is not an anatomy class. This is a this is basically a head drawing fundamentals class. So just do your best on these. And try to take like 1 or 2 bits of knowledge away from the skull. I'll be trying to talk about my thought process here, and people should definitely be sharing feedback with each other in the Discord, especially during the breaks, because we're all trying to improve together here, myself included. I'm not a professional teacher. I'm here to learn as much as anyone else in here. Okay, Google, stop. Alright, okay, Google, set timer for 5 minutes.
Alright, 5 minutes. And we're starting now.
Alright, so we're on a 5-minute break. If you aren't set up yet, you can get set up. I would recommend hydrating up. I'm going to put on maybe some music or something. Royalty-free synthwave. Check out the chat real quick, and I'm going to make sure that people get the copy paste. Of the Sketchpad link. I think I posted it in the chat earlier. So the Sketchpad document is posted the Sketchpad link in classroom Discord chat. Okay, I'll post that. Let me know if the music levels are better. Well, I'll pause the music during the actual class segments. The music is just for the break. Alright, let's see here. Make sure everyone's taken care of. See if there's any questions in chat real quick. I'm curious what people think of the Patreon stuff I have set up so far. Because I want to make sure it's something that is worthwhile for people. Prices seem very reasonable on Patreon. Well, that's good to know. And also, like I said, people can support me with one-time direct donations on my Ko-fi link, which just goes straight to my PayPal. Or they can, like send me Twitch bits or give me a Prime sub or whatever else. It's all good. But yeah, hopefully I want to see if I can make the donation goal for the Asaro head before we actually get to teaching the Asaro head. It'd be really great if I could have that as a tool by the time we get to that, but it's okay if we don't, because I'm going to be repeating the Asaro head again in the future too. It's an excellent drawing device that a lot of pros like go back to a lot. Okay, Google, stop. Alright, a little warm-up sketch there. Alright, I think I'll pause the music so we can concentrate on this. And we'll get back to it again. So, let's get OBS up. Alright, so to start off, we're going to start with a front view of the skull. Front view of the skull will be for the first 25-minute drawing. We're going to be doing 2 more 25-minute poses of profile and 3/4 views. And we'll be starting the timer now. Okay, Google, set timer for 25 minutes.
25 minutes, and that's starting now.
Alright, here we go. So I'll try to talk through a little what I'm going to be doing here. I'm going to start the same way I started the other skulls I've been doing this evening. Start with a Loomis Head. I'm drawing at a somewhat odd angle here because I'm trying a new desk setup. So I'm going to be a little suboptimal with my line control right now. But I should be able to get the demo out reasonably. Alright, so start with a sphere, drop a half outline through the sphere, half outline across the sphere, carve into it a bit with like sort of lines, maybe measure it a bit to make sure it's not too lopsided. Doesn't have to be a perfect spear. Maybe erase some of the spillover stuff going on. Just looking a little closer to halfway there. Yeah, the angle I'm drawing is a little weird, so I think that this is pretty cockeyed and my lines are kind of wobbly. But I'm going to do my best to go through this demo. All of you should be drawing the skull that's on screen right now, by the way. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
You've got 23 minutes and 22 seconds remaining.
You heard her. Alright, so I'm going to try to basically, without really quite measuring, I'm going to kind of approximate where I think the bottom of the chin is. Halfway point for the eye line would be about there. Let's erase that a bit so the chin doesn't get too huge. So let's see, I got these cheeks here, get some of the brow in there, like so. And front view is really hard to draw. Like, symmetry is hard to do. Like, a lot of artists have a harder time doing straight on view than they do 3/4, because it's a little bit easier to wrap your head around 3/4. Plus, you don't have to worry about symmetry as much. Alright, so those would be the sides of the cheeks about. I think they're a little bit far out, but I can fix that. So I'm going to add this kind of rectangular shape for blocking in about where the cheekbones are. I'm going to have the zygomatic arch kind of fusing the back of the skull going back there. And I've got this shape that I got from Gottfried Bomis, one of the references we're going to be looking at later, that I'm going to use for kind of feeling out where the tooth cylinder is. A lot of this is observation, by the way. You can use you can use some of the stuff that I'm doing, but I'm still learning this too. So I wouldn't want you to necessarily pick up on my bad habits. So use your powers of observation to try to break down the planes of what you're drawing. And it shouldn't necessarily look exactly like what you're drawing. It should kind of use the same ideas, if that makes any sense. The idea being that you want to kind of understand this in like fairly broad strokes, so that when we get to quick sketching later, you will be able to use it by shorthand a little bit. Like, think about like the big important things that you're fitting together on here, like the brow line, the eye sockets, the zygomatic arch on the side of the face, the side planes of the head, the general kind of shape of the skull that kind of makes for sort of a lumpy, bulgy thing. Another thing I want to note is that unlike the Loomis heads, I'm actually not chopping the sides off the planes of the Loomis head I start with. That's on purpose because the side plane is still there. It's just I'm using the Loomis head to actually extend the skull out a little ways. Alright. Let's maybe shrink that a little. Shrink the eye sockets a bit. So I'm using more reference than just what I have up on screen also, by the way. Like, you should maybe have anatomical reference of skulls in addition to what's up on screen here nearby when you're doing these, because it will keep you from copying what you're seeing, and it will keep you in the realm of trying to construct instead of copy. And that's what you should be going for. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
18 minutes and 14 seconds remaining.
Goody. So maybe you get like the angles of the cheekbones there a little bit. I'm also combining what I know about the skull from other things. So some of the planes that I'm adding to this are not what's in there. I'm kind of emphasizing these parts, this part of the jaw, for example, and more of that triangle wedge down below for the chin than what's up there. That was my keyboard. Kim Jong-gi had a problem doing frontal view when he was very young. Yeah, I believe that. Front view is very challenging. It should not be taken lightly. Like, if you think you're doing good at the front view, try flipping it. Oops. See? Errors become more apparent. There's also like how cockeyed it is, for example. A good way to check if you're doing stuff traditionally, a good way to check stuff that you're working on traditionally the same way you would in a digital drawing program is to use a mirror, like a hand mirror or something. You'll often see professional comic artists and illustrators with like a mirror over their work. Junji Ito has that, and there's actually footage of him using that over his workspace in some documentaries about about like his method. The Monben documentary series, which is really awesome, shows it's basically a manga. It's a series about several professional manga artists, hosted by a professional manga artist, basically talking shop and showing like camera footage of their workflow and their technique and stuff, and it's really cool to hear them like just talk very frankly about how they work. Yeah, there's still going to be a little bit lopsidedness, but I'm not worried about perfection for this. Want something that's kind of working. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
You've got 14 minutes and 21 seconds remaining.
Cool. So what I can do now is I can lower the opacity on that guy. Maybe zoom in a bit. Maybe handle this a little bit more how I would handle the charcoal drawing with detailing it a bit. Be more sensitive to the construction. Actually, I might want to blow it up before I do that, so I get more pixels. All this is drawing mileage today. Like, we're all going to be improving and trying to get better together doing this stuff. So I don't want people worried about getting self-conscious about making good or bad drawings. Just do your best, put your mileage and effort in. Every one of these you do, you're going to get a little bit better at doing skulls. It's like that for me, it's like that for everyone else here. Someone said, "I like the way you do the mouth cylinder." Yeah, it's from Gottfried Bomis. I'll show the reference that I'm using. I actually don't have that reference near me, but it's something that I studied from previously that I'm utilizing. But that's one of the things that we'll be bringing up during the quick sketch section of this. There's bits and pieces of like different ideas and approaches to doing the skull that are kind of like fitting together like a puzzle in what I'm drawing right here. And that's usually how it goes. Like, so you start learning different systems of drawing and different approaches to drawing things. You start combining different approaches together. I still have a long ways to go, like in everything I want to improve at. Over time, my line confidence is going to evolve and get better. Like, I'm still pretty sketchy. In the future, like, my line confidence will be a lot more controlled just from like the manual dexterity of me doing this so often. And then I'll be able to execute on those different systems I'm trying to digest and learn. That's the thing about this, like, as you're learning it, you have to keep in mind you're not going to learn this overnight. I kind of had to accept that while doing this stuff. Like, this stuff is going to be absorbed piece by piece over time. Like, I'm looking at like 6 months or a year of drilling the fundamentals a ton to get to where I want to go with this stuff. And even then, it's not going to stop. Like, I'll get to like a pretty, I think I could guesstimate like 6 months to a year from now, I'd be at a reasonably okay level based on the progression that I've had so far. But you know, I mean, maybe it might take more time, and that's okay. But as long as I can get enough of it to utilize professionally, then that will be good. And then I can keep going further and further with it. In the future, we're going to be doing stuff like what we saw on that table of that Valve artist. Possibly that was either an animator or a modeler, but we will be doing stuff on facial expressions in the future when we get to features, which I'm hoping we will get to in like the next several weeks. Or I might utilize like the gesture drawing class we do to cover topics like that sometimes. I might consider making one session about facial expressions. I know I'm interested this week for the gesture drawing class on Wednesday, possibly including hands. So I might do some hand demos and stuff, and then we'll do like a lot of studies of hands. I might even fit in some like some cartoon hands from like Disney films and stuff. Both Mickey Mouse hands and like the high-end kind of realistic looking hands that you see in those films. There we go. That's a pretty reasonable skull, I'd say. Of course, like I said, I'm going to get better at these the more of these I do, and I'm already seeing that there's some symmetrical issues going on here that are probably going to pop up the moment I flip this thing. So let's I'm just bracing for this. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's actually pretty good. There's some eye socket things that I might want to fix, but I think this one turned out pretty good because I solved some of those issues before doing the blue line stuff. I mean, there's this eye socket on the right seems a little misshapen to me. But yeah, I mean, like that's the big thing I want people doing on this. Like, slow down, don't panic. If you make mistakes, just fix them. That's what that's why we have so much. That's why we have 25 minutes to do these. So you can slow down, kind of wrap your head around what you're doing, and you get enough time to really kind of try fixing some of your problems. Try seeing how you can plus it a bit. Maybe lower opacity on it and try drawing over it again, like what I'm doing. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer? Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
T minus 6 minutes and 43 seconds.
Yeah, we got a lot of time actually. So I might actually, let's see, I'll throw in some 50% black for some shadow, maybe. Nah. Yeah, the Google speaker could probably be positioned a little better, to be honest. Then they might be able to hear me more. But sometimes I'm not clear enough for the digital assistant to hear me. So the only reason I'm doing this, like I'm not doing this to be fancy, I'm doing this to kind of understand the planes a little bit more. So these shadows are not really quite real shadows, they're more just kind of like markers for the plane changes for me. So I'm getting a little extra time to kind of go over what I just did, basically. Kind of analyze a little bit, think about it, think about what I did right and wrong. Think about how I can do things better next time. And that's what you should be doing when you're doing these. So maybe it's a different tone for this plane change. Let's fill that in. Yeah, these aren't really, like I said, these aren't really shadows. This is for me to note when plane changes occur. And only loosely. I'm just kind of thinking my way through this. Actually, it might be better for me to do these in white, like that. And then the side plane of the teeth cylinder may be a little darker, like this. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
There's 2 minutes and 57 seconds to go.
Cool. So much about this, about like doing lots of this, is building your confidence through repetition. That's also why this is a topic that we have taught previously that we are repeating, and we will probably repeat it again. And throughout the week I want people practicing skulls. Yeah, this is not supposed to be like lighting and all, like I said. This is just some notes for myself. I'm trying to understand what I drew a little better. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
30 seconds left.
Nice. I'm going to call it here on this drawing. That was a successful study, I would say. Okay, Google, stop. Alright, I'm going to keep maybe my folders a little bit organized and actually name this one front. That's going in there. Let's scoot this over here a bit. Okay, Google, set timer for 5 minutes.
All right, 5 minutes, and we're starting now.
So the next point of view we're doing on the skull will be the profile view. So I'm going to get that guy ready. Let's see, should we do left or right profile? Oh yeah, let's do this. Right profile. So I'll set this up here. Feel free to cheat for the next 5 minutes and preemptively start working on this if you like. But I would recommend most people should take a break right now and get some water, hit the restroom, whatever, sharpen your pencil, etc., etc. Get up and walk around. That'll help you get less burned out doing this. I'm going to actually get up and get some water and so on. I'll be back in a little bit. And we will resume after the 5-minute break. Alright, we're back, and we're going to get started on the profile view. Okay, Google, stop. Okay, Google, set timer for 25 minutes.
25 minutes, starting now.
Alright. I got my water bottle ready and beside me, and I'm ready to hit the art gym again and do my art reps with this profile view of the skull. So maybe I'll try to measure this off a little bit so I can keep a good, kind of relatively, not perfectly consistent, but relatively consistent turnaround kind of going on a bit. Maybe zoom back a bit and use the line tool on this layer maybe. About there would be where the zygomatic arch is, the top of the eyes, side plane of the head, top of the head. I think that's pretty good. And then I get like the 2-cylinder front right there. Okay, that's enough for me to work with. Might need to rough it out, zoomed out though. That might work. It's tricky to work horizontally when I'm working in portrait mode here. But I'll try to make do. Hope everyone's enjoying all the skulls we're getting to draw this evening. So I'm going to start with a pretty basic Loomis Head. Because I started the other one with the Loomis Head, it's not that hard to maintain consistency between these. Or relative consistency, anyway. I'm not expecting perfection out of this. Nor should any of you, really. Probably going to angle the jaw forward a little bit. Let's see here. Kind of like what the model has a bit. So on this side plane here, the cheek is about there. The 2 cylinders still behave similarly in the side plane to how I did it on the front. So I'm going to use some of that. But first maybe find the angles of the front of the face a little bit. Maybe kind of contain the shapes a bit. So I can get a big picture view of what I'm trying to draw. Okay, so that's the fusion point for the Zygomatic Arch. Can add in a very simplified line here for the Zygomatic Arch. maybe get that plane change on the wedge of the brow right there. Let's build off some more of the back of the skull here to make it more skull-like instead of the giant spherical shape we started with. Because the Loomis Head is just, all it's there is just a scaffold to kind of get you started. I'm kind of building a little bit too high up. There we go, now I can use the 2-cylinder a little bit. So my lines are lacking in confidence right now because this is tricky. I'm not used to drawing the way from the angle that I'm drawing on this drawing pad right now, and plus I'm just lacking in confidence in general. But the way to get around that, and Ethan Becker actually covered this in his videos, is you just lower the opacity on your initial drawing and then you draw over it again with more confidence. This is what I did on the last one, so that's the plan here. And the goal here, especially when we get to the quick sketch stuff, will be to kind of like abbreviate this stuff. Like the stuff that I've been kind of really slower on here, we'll be able to have some fun with. We'll use what we have absorbed a little bit in slow motion on the skull to do some really quick, fun, loose, quick sketches. I'm going to lower opacity and zoom in on this guy. So for anyone who's here, like, if you're able to show up for even just an hour of this, great. Fantastic. If you're able to show up for 2 hours of this, even better. If you're able to show up for all 3 hours, you will get the maximum art workout that I have planned here. For the learning process to really gel, you need about 3 hours of time practicing and focusing on a subject. The first hour, you're going to be struggling. The second hour, you're going to be kind of sort of getting in tune with it a bit. And the third hour is where you do your real your like real learning, where you've like hit your stride, and you're like really engaged with the subject matter, and that like something's like there's like a learning process that kind of opens up in your brain for that period, because you fully adjusted to absorbing the information. And that is where you do like your main memorization, or your main wrapping your head around what you're trying to learn. And then you can sometimes go a little over that if you want. But you want to like not exhaust yourself, because if you overdo it, it'll have the opposite effect. So that's why I structured these classes like I have in 3-hour chunks, so that anyone who can stick around for the full period will get the maximum amount of learning out of it. I realize not everyone can devote time to sit around for the whole 3 hours, but if you can, go for it. It is very worth it. That's the way I want to run my classes in the future. Like this is mileage for me as much as it is for all of you here. I can physically see myself improving from last semester on this stuff for sure. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
14 minutes and 46 seconds remaining.
Very nice. Let's see what else I can do with this guy. This profile's a little easier than the straight on. I kind of had to be more meticulous with that one. I'll maybe take a peek at chat real quick and see if there's anything I can pull out from there. And if nobody minds, let me know what the volume is like for the music I'm going to put on. I'm going to put on a little bit in the background. Let me know if the music overpowers my voice. Alright. Okay, let me know if the music is a little bit too loud compared to my voice. I'm going to check the mic levels real quick in the game sensitivity. Let me get rid of that filter actually. Alright, so. Alright, let's see here. See here. So how's my mic levels right now? Does it sound okay in relation to the music? Okay, so I've done a little quick draw over that I just wanted to concentrate on for a little bit. I'm going to, let's see, 50% gray, do the same thing I did in the last one. Kind of like noting the plane changes a little bit. Maybe I'll kind of use the on-screen lighting on the 3D model as reference a little bit this time. Even though what I'm doing is not really lighting per se. It's just kind of notes. Yeah. I'm really confused about like because the music is barely audible for me. Maybe it's because I have to turn up my headphones a bit. So how am I sounding now? Does it sound okay? Let me know if it does get too overpowering. I'll just keep adjusting it. I just kind of want to have something to kind of fill the silence in the background with me. That's all. So it's a bunch of royalty-free synthwave tracks, basically. Just a little lower? Okay, let's try that. If I lower... I'm lowering the YouTube player volume, but raising my headset volume, and that might do it. Yeah, this is going to be a quick kind of fill in here. Nothing fancy, I'm just adding, when you add like additional layers on what you're drawing, go back over your drawing, you can pull more knowledge from the drawing you just did when you're doing a study. And that's what I'm trying to do with sort of what I'm doing right now. I'm making note of planes that I might have not necessarily included in the initial sketch. I'm not like trying to make a lighting, like I said, I'm not trying to make a lighting study here. It's mainly just trying to note where I think some of the planes are to wrap my head around a little more. In the future, we'll be doing like more lighting studies type stuff when we get into like shadows and patterns for our headlands and things like that. But for now, this is just like, you could kind of say that this is sort of dabbling my toes in that without really committing. There we go, got a little something there. Maybe just make a background layer. Throw some of this, whoops, that's a little bit too dark. Maybe I'll have a little fun with it, just at the end here. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
5 minutes and 4 seconds to go.
Okay. I'm just seeing what happens if I add little patches of white in the image, just a little bit for fun. It starts to look a little bit more like a skull rendering sketch now, just a little bit. But this is not supposed to be a hyper detailed study. Let's put those behind there. And we can see all the sketch lines. There we go. Let's maybe do a little thumbnail sketch down at the bottom of both of the views that I've already done in their most basic form. Like, this is kind of how I would approach doing like a skull quick sketch head. But it's like all the information of that like slowed down drawing that we did that I just did earlier, but just compacted basically, and drawn at like fast speed, and that's what you want to kind of want to do when you mix up your long drawings with quick sketch studies. Like after you do like a long drawing of like a study of a subject study like this, you now like can remember the information enough to do like a really quick study, like this guy here. Like the stuff that I really slowed down to remember, now I kind of, I remember what I did there, so I'm just going to go through step by step a lot faster now. And I don't have to worry about accuracy. The idea is to just get some of the information in compact, quickie shorthand form. So that's a little in the ballpark of what I would do for for skull quick sketches on both those poses. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
1 minute and 5 seconds remaining.
Nice. All right, how much more time we got? Wow, it's 7:02 now. That means we've got 3 more sessions of this. That means the next pose will be the 3/4 view, and then we'll have 2 sessions of head quick sketch. But yeah, the homework for this week, I want people like filling their sketchbooks with, or their digital equivalent of sketchbooks, with lots of little guys. Okay, Google, stop. Okay, Google, set timer for 5 minutes. With lots of digital equivalents of these little guys. You can do them like in pencil or ballpoint pen or whatever. Just as long as you like are reiterating the information that you're trying to study. It's kind of the same thing with the Loomis Head stuff. I had people doing this last week. Anyway, I'm going to take a look at chat. Oh, is the mic a little bit low? Let me check real quick. The mic gain might have been turned off or something. Let me double check that real quick. Okay, I boosted the mic just a little bit. Is that better? Just hydrating real quick. Alright, let's see if we got any good stuff in classroom chat right now. What display should I put this on? I should probably put this on over here, but man, this is really itty bitty, isn't it? I have to boost the size of that so we can see it at the big ass 4K screen. Alright, so yeah, there's some starter skulls. Let me scroll up and down chat real quick to see what everyone's doing. I see somebody's doing some draw. One person trying to kind of imitate what I'm doing a little bit. I would say that for this one, you want to work out a little bit more of the jaw and stuff on this one. There also might be some. I think there's some proportional issues going on with it. Let's see here. Oh, the nose area is looking really large right here. If you're getting a little bit lost on how the skull is generally shaped, I would maybe like lay some tracing paper or bring an image of the skull into your drawing app and lower opacity on it and do a draw over studies on it. That's really nice. Yeah, good. This one has good feeling to it. Really nice sketch at that angle. This one's sideways, although I have to tilt my head to see what's going on. It looks like it's a good study, though. I just wish it was at the right angle. Yeah, this is a pretty good study. I think the jaw should be forward a little bit more, though. I mean, like, either that or the head should be built out a little bit backwards further. Because, like, the halfway point of the side plane of the head should be a little bit more to the left of the jaw a bit, or about on the jaw. This head is looking proportionately like an ancestor of man, because the jaw is the jaw's looking a little odd. Same thing if you're having trouble with like the proportions of these skulls. Maybe take screenshots of them and bring them into a drawing app to do a draw over on. Break them up into basic shapes so you don't get too confused with like all the complicated stuff. Like, you kind of want to keep stuff in the rough ballpark. Yeah, that one looks like you're struggling with some of the three-dimensionality of it, and there's some of the warping stuff I was talking about going on, but there's some good effort in here with trying to handle the plane changes and so on. Yeah, this guy, it's the same issue like that I mentioned with the jaw. Like the shape of the head is looking really warped, for one thing, and the I think you need to maybe go back through, maybe go do the same thing I was suggesting for the other people of like doing some draw overs of some skulls, and that will kind of orient you into how these things are supposed to be portion structured. This one's looking pretty nice. A very small study, but it's a pretty decent study. The back of the head looked a little strange, but the back of the head looks a little deflated to me. But you can fix that by just building off the back of the head a bit. This is some pretty good studies. I think your this 3/4 of the jaw needs to be built off a little bit, and I think the cheek line is getting a little bit. There's a little bit too much of a gap between the cheek line and the eye sockets. But good studies. Yeah, this one is getting kind of. I see you're running into what I was talking about with the front view being very difficult to handle, with the symmetry kind of being thrown off. I would also like check your halfway points between like a little bit about here in the eye socket, roughly about here in the eye socket is about where the halfway point of the head is, and you want to make sure that like the top of the head is proportional to the bottom of the jaw from there. But yeah, if you're having the symmetry thing can also be solved with some studies of doing draw overs of skull faces too. That will also help. But these are good effort for. I mean, like if you've never drawn a skull from straight on, this is a good effort for your first try. I see you're trying to work out the cylinder of the teeth there, which is good. Some attempts at the plane changes. The head probably needs to be built out a little bit to the back, a little bit more. I think like the shape of the cranial mass of the skull is something that I think people need to get more information in their drawings with from doing draw over studies of skulls. This one's really quick. I'm gonna skim through the rest of these because I think we're about to come off our break really soon. That's a really good study. Very stylized skull though. I mean, I could nitpick it some more, but this is like somebody who's kind of playing with the skull a bit. I would just hope that this is not. It's not representative of them trying to do a realistic skull, but trying to do a stylized skull. See someone really struggling with the effort. I think the main issue I'm seeing here is the proportion of the eye sockets and the jaw. I'm kind of getting lost a little bit on the left one. The left jaw is looking a little bit small. I think the right jaw is also exhibiting the same issue to me. That's neat, but two-cylinder needs to be worked out some more, I'd say.
Did I show up late?
Hello? Who's speaking?
It's Spartan.
Okay.
Did I show up late?
Well, you did, but I'm right in the middle of teaching right now, so. Anyway. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
It looks like you don't have any timers set
So
at the
I
moment.
forgot to set a timer for the break, so we're just gonna jump right back into drawing now. So I'm going to get us a nice 3/4 view. Let's see, will be the 3/4 left view or the 3/4 right view? Will give us the 3/4 left view. There we go. Alright, I maybe want to build. Okay, Google, set timer for 25 minutes.
25 minutes. Starting now.
Let's see, canvas properties, if I can change the width. Hopefully this doesn't warp things. Good, it didn't. Okay. Alright, let's get going. 3/4 skulls. So I'm going to maybe use the same measurement thing I was using on the last one to get an approximate skull. I'll maybe throw in another one of the quick sketches like I did last time down at the bottom too. Alright, I got my little measurement set up there. Let's start working on the head. So when asked, does the nose touch the bottom of the initial circle? Not sure what you mean by that. Do you mean the oh, I think I know what you. I think I kind of know what you mean, but I don't really have the focus right now to really answer that. Maybe I can do that during one of the quick sketch things or during the next break. Kind of plotting out what I'm gonna do for this one. There's enough time for you to really think through this and maybe like try doing it again in quick sketch form, kind of like what I did. Let's see, there's my hairline about here. So I'm gonna measure about here. All the way down to the chin down there. That means that the side plane is about here-ish, I want to say. Yeah, I saw somebody posted a note in chat about an approach they take. I'll be able to make a comment on that after I get like this initial head and Loomis Head in. Just want to make sure I get my starting point relatively in the ballpark here. I'm kind of really being loose and lacking in confidence with my lines because I'm kind of checking the measurements a little bit. And that's kind of where I'm at, just in my line confidence in general. Like, in the future, I want to work on my line confidence from doing lots and lots of practice, like exactly like this. I think I maybe need to show more of the side plane here. It should be more like this. Erase that actually. This is really scribbly, so let's just take all that out. Let's do a big. Let's do this quicker and more confident. if there's problems with it, I can go back and fix them. So you can, as you can see, even here, like that little trick from Gottfried Bomis for plotting out the two-cylinder comes in handy here. I just fuse these cheekbone sides there. To the two-cylinder. Who was it who said they had like a skull of their own to practice from? If they're interested, I would actually like them to maybe take some photographs of that skull, as well as you're able to get. And maybe we can use some of them for reference. Assuming it's not like a warpy Halloween shop skull or something like that. But we can definitely use that. If the person who did that wants to do that, if the person who has the skull in real life wants to do that, we can post that in the head drawing section of my homework sub chat. And of course, maybe use it for a future reiteration of this. Do old people skulls work? Yeah. Yeah. A lot of the reference that we have is old people's skulls, but as you get older, your jaw starts to old people's jaws tends to wither a lot. But old people's skulls generally would work too for practice like this as well. Alright, so lower opacity on this. Zoom in a bit, maybe. So I at least wanted to get the lay-in like roughly close to how I had it on the one next to it, so that's why I kind of had it zoomed out, so I could refer back and forth to it easier. But now that I kind of have the rough lay-in sort of in the ballpark of where I need it to be. I'm gonna go back through with the blue line and kind of embellish some things and emphasize clearer planes and try to use more confident lines. It's not showing it up there, but I'm including a little bit of the jaw on the left side visible there. I think the angle that I'm using is like not quite exactly what's up there. Because again, I've got like about three other like reference images that are near me that you're not seeing, that I'm actually using to help me break down this without copying as much. Although I am still using the 3D model head too. So I'm making little notes of these little anatomical landmarks of the points of the skull here. Those little dots that I added there. Let's see, maybe I can handle that a little better. Nope. Let's erase that. Should maybe read more like this. $55 viewers still sticking around for this. Good. 55 rock solid art swole people getting their head drawing mileage in today. Hopefully a good majority of you will be able to stick around to the very end, because the next session, the next two, we're going to do 2 more of these little blocks before the end here. And they will be the head quick sketch blocks, using the skull, of course. You can even mix it up and try to add some features in if you like. But we'll be doing skull quick sketch in 2 25-minute blocks after we finish this 3/4 study. So all this figure drawing and skull study and everything like that I'm doing, I want to strategize some way to utilize it in how I'm going to be teaching the animation classes that I teach. I'm currently I'm currently retooling that, so my animation class, until further notice, will probably be on a hiatus. It might be on hiatus for this week too, because I'm trying to figure out what a worthwhile curriculum would be. And it's mostly going to come down to what I'm going to be deciding to focus on for myself, because what I teach is also something that I want to learn. we'll see where that goes. I have some chit-chatting to do with several different animators I know about working that out, and also I'm going to go over some existing animation curriculums that I've been taking peeks at to kind of glean ideas from. Because I really like the consistency that I have set up for these classes. Like I know what I'm going to be teaching. I know what I need to prep for, and the way I have things set up, I get my drawing mileage right here in class, also for the day, along with everyone else here. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
T minus 8 minutes and 20 seconds.
Neat. I'll just rush into doing the little head quick sketch down here. So we're going to be doing a lot of these. I've got a DM from someone. I'll take a peek at that DM real quick. Whoops. Oh, someone suggested in DMs that they have a syllabus for animation. Yeah, I've been looking at course syllabuses for ideas of how to like pace out the subjects I teach. I know what resources I would pull from in order to teach those subjects. But yeah, getting some pretext in mind for how I would teach this stuff would be good. Like I might do like a body mechanic. Like I did something like that, but then we kind of got stalled out on walks for a little bit too long the last time I taught. And there are other directions I kind of want to go with animation here to get people to study really meaty stuff while having a lot of creative freedom in what they can do. So I'm going to try to keep that in mind. As I kind of work through what I'm going to teach and how I do it, like, because I'm ultimately at the end of the day doing it for my own benefit. Like I'm trying to work towards, and that's part of why I'm doing all this drawing fundamental stuff. I'm working towards like making better quality animation of my own. Like I want to get my drawing skills up so I can make better animation. But ultimately I am going to have to be applying these skills to animation in one form or another. So I kind of need to wrap my head around how I'm going to be like laying out a curriculum that will utilize basically what we're practicing here, and go through animation, like giving people enough creative freedom to do their own thing while still like practicing fundamentals. So I want people to like design their own scenes and design their own shots and stuff and come up with their own stuff and try things and experiment. While also applying some of the stuff that I'm teaching in the other classes. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, the next class we have will be Wednesday for gesture drawing. I might be doing some stuff on hands in that. In addition to like just timed figure poses too. And then Friday will be the next iteration of the Figure Drawing and Anatomy class, where we will be going over, I think, block form mannequins or block form figures. Last week we did Loomis skeletons, which are these guys. Oops. These guys get a little bit cut off at the feet down here, but the basic idea is get these kind of gestural skeletons with sort of a cape shoulder area up here over the rib cage, and their pelvis is like these pairs of discs that are connected across by this kind of bar. Something like that. I have better examples of that in some of my other course practice stuff that I've been doing the past couple days. But it was these dudes that we were practicing last Friday. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
You've got 2 minutes and 59 seconds remaining.
Goody. So one of the homeworks for this week is I want you to do another turnaround like this. 3 poses. For bonus points, you can do a back view and a back 3/4 view also, if you want. I say bonus points, but no one's being graded on this. It's just up to you, like what you think you can get. I've done back view 3/4 of these guys before too. Like this was from last semester. I think I did these live in class too. Yeah, you can see me. I was struggling with the symmetry thing doing that front view. Yeah, there's definitely I've got a long ways to go, but there's definitely a marked improvement from like if you compare that to like this. There's definitely an improvement from between the 2 semesters for me. Like this is I am basically enrolled in class along with the rest of you doing this stuff. Yeah, the high quality images of this stuff is going to be available on my Patreon, along with PSDs and clip studio files and stuff of all this these demos that I've done today. Grade us though. Well, I don't believe in grades. I believe in people learning at their own pace and people wrestling with their issues or whatever mental barricades that are keeping them from getting over that next step. Whether it be not getting enough mileage in on drawing on the subjects they need to draw, or wrapping their heads around key concepts, or not really quite perceiving their shortcomings yet. Like a lot of people have to fight the Dunning-Kruger effect and humble themselves, and it's hard to kind of deal with that.
I just realized you were streaming on Twitch.
Yeah. Just now?
Yep.
You just thought I was monologuing with no visuals to go by. Well, if you want to see the replay will be on Twitch later, and also it'll be uploaded to my YouTube later. Okay, Google stop. Yeah, that's a quick doodle there. Alright, so, okay, Google, set timer 5 minutes. So the next, okay, Google, set time.
Right.
Okay, Google, set timer 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
Okay. Alright, so The next period will be a quick sketch period. So I'm going to loosen up my hand a bit because I've gotten really stiff doing those skulls. But we're going to be maybe doing 5-minute poses of the head. So let's see here. I'm actually going to maybe export my pure ref folder right here. Or actually maybe we can yoink some useful images right now off the web. I had a bunch of useful images that I've been using previously that unfortunately I've lost access to on my old computer. So let's maybe zoom that in a bit. Let's maybe yoink about a few more images for this. I think that one's a pretty good skull. We'll yoink that. It's a pretty good straight on. We'll yoink that. Ooh. That's pretty nice. That's a Proco skull right there. Yoink that. Yeah, that's a good one, I think. It's hard for me to tell if some of these are like copies of drawings or the angle that I'm sitting at right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to compile a folder of a bunch of pictures of skulls and drawings of skulls. And we're going to be doing 5-minute quick sketches of these. And we might also use the 3D model stuff as well. Let's see here. Some of these will be pages with multiple skulls. And on those pages, just pick the skull you want to use. Or a couple of skulls if you want to do them really quick. Now it's looking a little disproportionate. I don't think we'll use that one. And they're straight on. Like that. Yeah, I want to include ones with the jaw. That one's teeth are looking odd. It's kind of a desiccated skull there. Proco holding off an anatomical skull. I would use this except his thumb's covering it up right there. That one would work. Oh, it's a really small image though. Oh, that's a good one. Also a good one. Yeah, I think there's more than enough to work with here. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
You've got 1 minute and 11 seconds remaining.
Nice. Okay, I'm going to, let's see here. Let's yoink this as a chaser image. And I can maybe yoink more during a future break, but let's see. Save. Skulls. Now I'll make a quickie export folder of this stuff. All images. Put them in this folder. We should be ready to go. Just get the gesture drawing wrap up. Get that full screen. Okay, Google, stop. Put that on 5 minutes. folder. We'll be ready to go right away. There we go. Just tested to make sure I got all the stuff in here. Good, 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 good. Oh good, there's a stock thing over the top of this first one. Okay, okay Google, set timer for 25 minutes. Okay Google, set timer for 25 minutes.
25 minutes. Starting now.
There we go. So that means 5 total drawings here, I believe. Yeah. So there's a lot of skulls on this page. Just take your pick. You can do more than one, if you like. But we have 5 minutes to work with on these. And after 5 minutes, it's going to shift to a different image. Someone says, "Is the stream lag?" Let's try refreshing your browser. Someone tell them in text chat if the to refresh their browser. So I want to do these quick. Don't want to be too concerned with getting caught up in errors I make. I mean, I want to fix errors where I can, but inherently these are going to be a little odd looking compared to something I might slow down for. And that's what's going to happen in Quick Sketch usually, and that's okay. The point is to compact the information that you've been studying in the longer drawings. That is a principle that we're going to be making use of more in our figure drawing class in the future, by the way, on Fridays. Long poses and short poses and so on. We're definitely going to make use of it on the Friday the Wednesday gesture drawing class, because that class is going to be making use of actually Quick Sketch. I might actually encourage people to do some skull Quick Sketch during that too, just for keeping up a little continuity between the stuff we're doing throughout these weeks. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
T-minus 22 minutes and 14 seconds.
Yeah, we got 2 more minutes on this. I'm just gonna mess around some more with this one skull I've done. And again, the point is not to copy, but to kind of like wrap your head around how these things work a bit. Some of it from observation, some of it from the planes and the way it works that you're kind of absorbing by looking at different planar examples of the skulls, like that planar skull we were practicing on earlier. Combine that with some of the Loomis Head. You'll start to slowly fit together your observation skills with the systemic approaches to drawing, which is what you're supposed to be shooting for. Maybe add a C-curve neck here. We're not getting into neck anatomy, but I'm just including a neck here for my little quick sketch for fun. Maybe include a bit of an ear here. I'm just going to include maybe like some indication of a hairline kind of there. Here we go, we're changing to the next image. There we go. Oh, that's the same angle I just drew. How about that? Oh, you know what? Fine. Let me just check a DM someone sent me real quick. Someone said you're not screen sharing. I'm streaming to Twitch right now. Please click my profile if you want to see the Twitch channel I'm streaming on. If somebody could link in Discord chat the Twitch channel for me, I'd really appreciate it. Someone asked if they can put a facial expression on the skull. Sure. This is quick sketch time. You can do whatever you want with these. I would practice the skull, but then maybe try adding a facial expression on top. I would even, like, if you have a mirror near you, try doing the facial expression in the mirror. Well, anytime you're drawing a facial expression, you should try making the facial expression, even if you don't have a mirror. But we'll get more into facial expressions in the future. We'll save that for future times. I may, like I said, I may use the gesture drawing class to do facial expressions sometime in the future. But we're definitely going to get into features and facial expressions more in depth in this class in the future too. For now, we're concentrating on structural fundamentals of the head, because it's hard as heck to draw facial expressions if you don't understand the or have an intuitive understanding of the underlying structure of the head. So this is a Gottfried Bommes head. Gottfried Bommes is a German teacher of artistic anatomy. He's got some fantastic books. The Gestalt Dimension is a particularly sought after book. That there are watered down versions of it that get printed in English sometimes, but like the original book itself is freaking amazing. It's dense. It's like packed with tons of info and like really, really elaborately well drawn stuff like this. It's a giant book too. If I can ever afford it, I want to get a copy of that for myself. That's like the that's an art student flex if you own a copy of that book. But some samples from the book are pretty relatively easy to find with Google image search. So that's where I'm able to get stuff like this. But there's so much more in the book. Tons more. One of the problems with the book, though, is if you don't know German, you don't know, some of the pages are, here is a drawing error, do not draw like this. So that's something to be aware of if you ever do take a look at that book. Okay, Google, how much time? Wait, no.
You've got 16 minutes and 8 seconds to go.
Okay, fair enough. Might as well, since I'm looking at Bommes' work and we got 55 seconds, I'll do maybe like a cheapo version of some of his rhythms that he's using in that picture there. Like, this is a quick sketch. I'm not worried about accuracy right now. But Bomis is somebody that's worth definitely slowing down for and doing longer copy studies from. So I'm doing a cheapo version of Bomis's rhythms there. Here's one of the Proco skulls. Someone said that they refreshed their display and that they got ad time. How's the stream looking right now? Like, is the bitrate okay? Is there any kind? I mean, like, I know there's going to be voice lag, obviously. "44 viewers. Whew. Let's see if we can keep the amount of people.
Book again?
Huh? What's that?
What was the name of that book again you just mentioned?
Gottfried Bomis, Gestalt Dimension. I'll see if I can Google it for people over the next break. That thing's a fantastic book. Strongly recommended. But it is really expensive usually to import. Although you can, if you live in Germany, you should be able to find it relatively reasonably priced. But it's like a really sought after imported item, basically. If you have an art university near you that you can check out books from, like if you're if you're going to art college or something where you can check out books, even hopefully even with the Corona lockdown, the libraries at the schools are open, or they maybe have some way of getting books on request to check out from the library or something to students. If your university or college has a copy of Gestalt Dimension, definitely check it out when you get the chance, and take a lot of photocopies of the photocopies and scans of the pages in it. I think the copy that was at my student library from my alma mater was I don't think you could actually physically check it out from the library. I think you could only photocopy it, if I recall. There we go. Alright, let's maybe try shading in a little bit. How much time do we have? We have 1 minute 30 seconds. Cool. Do people think we could handle 2 minute skulls? So we might close out with those if people are comfortable with that. Yeah, if you haven't already reposted it, repost in chat my Twitch link where we're doing the stream from. For any of the newcomers that have just wandered in or are wondering why I'm not streaming to Discord, we're streaming to Twitch. You can click my profile and go to my Twitch that way. In the future, I may actually stream an image that says "Go to my Twitch" or something. That might be a good idea, like a browser window with just that open on it or something. Yeah, I'm feeling like we should definitely do 2 minutes for the next block. Let's see how many we got. We got 3 heads so far, so we got 2 more heads. You want to just do 2s for the rest of this? For the rest of this little block we got?
Oh no.
Really? Sure you don't want to try it?
It's good. I'll try. It's just gonna look super messy.
That's okay. Just do your best. You don't even have to draw the whole skull. You can just like try to digest little parts of the basic structure. Alright, here we go. 2 minutes. These are more Gottfried Bomis skulls, by the way. Just take your pick of one of them on the page to do a study of, maybe. Maybe an unusual angle that you haven't done before. I'm going to try that really challenging upshot one on the left. And this is quick sketch, so you don't have to like do every single detail. Just try to get like some of the big things that can like signify plane changes or things like that. And this jaw is slightly open. So it's tricky. We only got 2 minutes to do it. 1 more minute, wow. It's getting up there really fast. Just go for the big things. Maybe I can darken in some areas to emphasize some planes. And if you're doing these traditionally, you can do these with like a pencil or ballpoint pen and stuff in your sketchbook throughout the week. I would encourage doing lots and lots of quick head studies. Maybe pull out some pages of Gottfried Bomis or some photos of skulls throughout the week and practice them a little bit every day. I'm going to be practicing some more skulls tomorrow myself. There we go. Yeah, that's actually, I think 2 minutes is a good time for these for sure. For those of you who are warmed up, that is, like myself. These are good because it forces you to kind of not overdraw. You kind of have to make decisions quickly and get through it. Let's get that bar for the cheekbone area. Get that kind of 2-cylinder thing going on there. Some of these might wind up looking like style. When you're doing these quickly, they can sometimes wind up looking like fairly like stylized comic book character heads a bit, kind of, or like the Harryhausen skulls with the big brows and stuff. And that's fine for a quick sketch. The point of quick sketch is, like I said, to compact information of something you're trying to study into shorthand. The idea being that you'd like bounce between doing some quick sketch and then some longer studies, and then quick sketch, longer studies, kind of like what we're doing tonight. Let's see here, maybe build up the head a little bit more. Wow, about to switch. Oh. There we go. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
T minus 5 minutes and 28 seconds.
Nice. So we got about 2 to 3 more skulls to draw. Yeah, 2 minutes is a pretty good rhythm for these. What if I put it on 1 minute or 30 seconds? I think everyone would try to stab me. Let's hold out to the end, everyone. Monday night, skull mob. I feel like I should get like a Twitch consultant or something to kind of figure out some problem solving about how to make my streams a little bit more efficient for what I'm trying to do with them in the future. So I think there's some problem solving for how I can lay out these pages. Now I can set up myself for doing my demos that will work a bit better. But I'm kind of learning trial by error and experimentation by doing these. I've noticed there's actually a lot more people doing basically what I'm doing on Twitch now too, of like basically running art classes more or less for free. Because with Corona, like a lot of people don't have anything else to do. So a lot of Twitch streamers are like, a lot of art. There's like quite a few of art Twitch streamers I've been seeing that are basically like giving like art demonstrations. So this is a drawing of a skull. So there is some like distortion going on here, but keep in mind the basic construction of the skull when making this. Those side planes of the head, we used the Andrew Loomis construction on it. The tooth cylinder that I showed off a little bit about during class. That little cheekbone bar that I'm doing right here. The Zygomatic Arch that fuses to the back of the skull. The sunglasses kind of thing that's going on here at the front for the eye sockets. And this kind of like wedge shape that extrudes out for the nose, top of the nose. You can get kind of a centerline effect going on here. Get the bump of the tooth cylinder there. That little triangle for the chin there. So I'm not strictly following the reference. So this is this is a 2-minute sketch. But I'm shorthanding the information that I'm seeing and reconstructing my own skull, kind of ripping off of it. And this is helping me like memorize more and more bits of how to use the skull, because the thing is, like, you're not going to necessarily memorize exactly a skull from like this particular angle and stuff. You want the overall idea of it, so you have a working model of how to do skulls in your head at all times, because there's going to be all kinds of different types of skulls, and skulls look really different from different angles and stuff. This is the purpose of this quick sketch, in addition to compacting the information you're trying to memorize, is to expose you to different angles and different ways of seeing the skull, or whatever other subject you're trying to draw, like these figures or something. Here we go. Some very plainer skulls from Gottfried Bomis again. Some good ones there. I've already done enough 3/4 ones, I think. So those I'm either going to do the upshot one or the back 3/4 one. I think I'll do the upshot one. This is going to be particularly challenging. Not least of which because I don't have the best point of view on what I'm seeing right here on that thing. But I'll try. Oh no, we've dropped into the 30s for the amount of people who are left. That's usually how it goes. Like, we get down to around 30 something by the time the class ends. We're left 30 or 20 or in the teens sometimes.
I see 16 in here.
I see 38 viewers on my Twitch. 16 in the voice chat. Because most people who... Okay, Google, stop. Alright, I'm just going to rough out this little guy here. Let's maybe pause this. That's perfect. Rough out this guy a little more. Not to worry about finishing it too much. Okay, Google, set timer for 5 minutes.
Alright, 5 minutes. Starting now.
So we have one more block of 2-minute skulls after this. Hopefully, I hope we have enough to work with in the folder I exported. Let's take a look. 1, 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, we're gonna loop back around. Oh wait, no, there's more stuff that we haven't seen yet. Okay, yeah, we have plenty to work with. Good. Yeah, we have enough. We have easily enough to finish out the evening with 2-minute quick sketches of skulls. Yeah, I'm currently using 5:30 p.m. as that's the optimal time for me to run these right now because it gives me enough time to prep for the class beforehand. I have more than enough time to do lots of drawing studies to work up my confidence and review study materials and stuff. I'm doing prep work. Sometimes the night before, but usually on the day that I teach the class. Throughout the week, I usually keep studying the same thing that I've taught in these classes too. I've been continually doing mannequin studies of those skeleton mannequins. Let me see here if I can find it. Here we go. Yeah, this was a page of studies from a few days ago. That was just a little doodle page with some Loomis heads down there. These are the Loomis heads I'm talking about, by the way. Oh, here we go. This was actually from the figure drawing class, but there was some other stuff I did too.
The skeletons.
What these are the Loomis skeletons that I was talking about. Let's see here. The Loomis skeleton mannequins. Let's see here. So all this I got some warm-ups, I got some Loomis heads that I was using to warm up on. Did a bunch of these block form figures and stuff. This is a little bit closer to the kind of stuff we're going to be doing next week on Friday. Some more warm-up stuff. More warm-ups. This is me warming up using the skeleton mannequin. I think some of these are class demos. Some of these are warm-ups, some of those are class demos. These are class demos, I think. No. Those are still warm-ups. Okay. Yeah, this is class demo. This is class demo. That figure turnaround right there. Actually raise the hips slightly. The hips are looking a little low on this guy. That's easy to fix. Yeah, these are copies from Loomis and some other sources. I think most of them are from Loomis. Those are we did the time pose copies of Andrew Loomis stuff, and then we moved to Marvel superhero figure poses. Then we moved to photo reference figure poses using the Loomis mannequin, and closed out the evening with these guys and like parkour reference images. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
You've got 0 seconds remaining.
That's perfect. I nailed it. How about that? Let's put that guy in there too, because he's a doodle. Why not? Okay, Google, stop. Okay, Google, set timer for 25 minutes. Alright. All you lovelies that have stuck around here, this is the final round. You're getting the most value out of your art studies this evening, so just go for it. Just get into a flow state. I want to see you just like go with the flow on this. Like you've just gotten used to doing skulls this evening, so now let's just vibe with it. Remember the shapes that you've been playing with this evening. Try not to struggle with it. Just like loosen up. If it's flawed, no big deal. Just keep going. Just keep going with it. You can slow down and maybe fix the drawing errors you made on your skulls later. Just try to like go with the flow in these. Like just you're absorbing bits and pieces of this stuff. It's not going to come all at once. Like you'll do this now, you'll do something like this again and again and again, absorbing more and more the more you do this kind of practice. So you want to reward yourself by like not getting self-conscious and having fun with it, no matter what drawing skill level you're at. So just vibe with what you're doing right now. Maybe put on some of your own personal best music that you like and kind of vibe with drawing skulls. You're not aiming for good drawings. You're not aiming for good drawings. You're aiming to enjoy what you're doing and vibe with the information that you've kind of tried to absorb tonight. "20 seconds. So next week we will be studying a thing called the simplified Asaro head. It's not the complex Asaro head that I showed that I'm doing a donation drive for. That one's coming like in about 3 weeks. But next week we will be doing a simple Asaro head. It's a simple planar head. So it's much less complicated than this really complex skull that we're doing. But having done the skull and having wrestled with the skull throughout the week, going into that, you'll be on much better footing. Because you won't be locked into the planes of that particular head. Like you'll see how you can use it as a tool a little bit better. You notice I'm starting to get more comfortable with this. I'm just using really simplified shapes. I'm going through it quickly. I'm kind of enjoying what I'm doing, fitting stuff together like a puzzle a little bit. Not worrying too much if it's accurate. Just being playful with the particular angle that we have. Remembering the plane changes that I want to keep in mind. inserting little bits of anatomical information here and there. This guy's a big old straight-on picture. It's looking a little odd. I may skip this one. No, we can do this one. We can do this guy. The shape of the jaw might throw people off a little bit, but keep in mind you're not copying. Just remember the other drawings you did of the skull and the other images of the skull you've seen, and construct something that makes a little bit more sense to you. I'm going to maybe do something like this. Let's get a halfway measurement. Brow line would be about here. Can add these little divots in the side for the side planes of the head a little bit, like that. I'm actually drawing probably a lot bigger than I should be for a 2-minute quick sketch, but this is kind of helping me loosen up and use my whole arm, so I'm going to just go with it. So you want to get to the point where you can, like, you feel confident about freely using this stuff. Or like you can do shorthand versions of it, and then you can slow down to fix stuff and do like longer, more thought out stuff that's a little bit more accurate and well constructed. But you want interplay between the two in how you study. Alright, let's see. Have I done any profiles yet? I have not done any profiles yet. Maybe I'll do the profile on this one. You can pay attention to like the ratio of like where the jaw is versus like the back of the head. Skulls are weird looking things. They're really super complicated. So try to simplify it. Get like the broad strokes in. You're looking at this hugely complex thing, and I've kind of thrown a lot of people in the deep end here from this, but that's on purpose. That's how this course curriculum goes. I want people to see how they can utilize something like the Loomis Head as a starting point to break down how skulls work and start seeing planes in objects. In this case, the object being the anatomy of a human skull. Oh wow, we climbed back up to 41 viewers. Thank you newcomers who joined us. I hope you'll stick around and get some sketching in. We're going to be... Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
It looks like you don't have any timers set at the moment.
Wow. Okay, well, I can time out how much we spent. 2, 4, 6, 8. So it's 8 minutes. So let's say, okay, Google, set timer for 16 minutes.
16 minutes, and we're starting now.
There we go. We're going to be at this for another 16 minutes, folks. So it goes from a profile view right into another profile view. But that's okay. It's more practice. We can try another profile view. Maybe I can try a little planar one. It's even simpler than the last one I did. maybe I can stop doubling up on my lines and try making more confident strokes on this one for some of the stuff I'm doing. Oops. Yeah, that's about the brown line, actually. Build off the head a bit, maybe. I'll say. Back to this page again. Take your pick. Pick a new skull if you've done another one from a previous page. I'm gonna maybe do one that has one of the jaws open. That reminds me, there's a demo I did previously in one of the previous course things I've taught here that I showed how the hinge of the jaw works. That one will definitely, I'm going to be able to find that on my old computer system. And that one is definitely going up on my Patreon. Why do I keep pronouncing it Patreon?
You're probably tired.
I don't know. For some reason, like I keep automatically pronouncing it that, even though I know it's not really. There's not any reason to pronounce it that way. It's not. Yeah, I even do it when I'm not tired. It's just a weird,
That or your mind
habit.
trying to sound fancy.
I'm trying to sound fancy. My Patreon. Lovely. Welcome aboard, the newcomers that have just joined, by the way. Click the Discord link if you want to join our Discord to be notified of future class events. This one is very challenging, but fun. Alright. You can't really see the timer on the upper corner there in 4K. I'm gonna retool my setup. The way I have this set up right now is like I set the monitor, the TV monitor that was normally at 1080p to 4K. This is a 4K TV. Because then I could, like, the way I have my displays set up, they're both stacked on top of each other right now. So so I can always move my mouse to the left side to move it onto the big screen TV, but it's turning out there's a lot of issues with that. So we're back around to this guy again. Let's do another of this guy. So there's a lot of issues with that. Like, it makes the mouse cursor really hard to spot, and it also like the time. Can anyone see the timer that's in the upper right of that screen through Twitch on the gesture drawing app? Like, I'm gonna have to adjust some of that stuff. I'm trying a new layout for how I do this now. I'm gonna be continuing the well, not just my Twitch layout, but the layout of my art studio here for I'm trying to figure out a setup that works better, that gives me better drawing angles and better seating, so I don't fuck up my back or my hand.
Or you could pull up Bob Ross and just stand up.
Yeah, I'd like to get a standing desk at some point. Actually, when we get done here, there will be a bonus round. I will go through actually the something that I was really inspired by this week, the Half-Life Alyx, the Final Hours thing. I really want to share that a bit with people. We can do a 3D tour of Valve's offices, and go through some of the concept art in the ebook. So yeah, stick around after this. After we get done with this drawing block, we will check out some rad ass concept art and check out what Valve's offices look like from the inside, with the Half-Life Alyx: The Final Hours ebook that I downloaded from Steam, that I bought and downloaded from Steam this week. I've been gushing and fanboying about it in our Discord lately. I'd love to share it with you guys, because it's getting me really fired up to do 3D animation stuff. And 3D too. I should explain. I've got a really super powerful computer now, because I want to do a hybrid of 2D and 3D animation work in Blender, which lets you do that now. Like the Blender Grease Pencil lets you animate in 3D, in 3D space, with 2D animation. And I want to combine those. I want to combine cross-discipline skills with 3D character rigs with 2D animation. With 2D animation skills. So I'm going to be getting more into that later, and that's something that I'm interested in getting into as for both filmmaking and for game development stuff. So I've got a much more powerful computer now that can handle all that. And looking at the stuff in Valve's offices and the concept art for Half-Life Alyx got me really, really fired up about wanting to get more into that stuff. Here we go. Here's a really nice, useful page to practice from in general. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
7 minutes and 59 seconds left.
Very nice. So we got about 4 more skull drawings to go. Then we will be all free to be captured by the Combine. So I don't have a VR headset, so I won't be able to actually experience Half-Life Alyx for a while, until I'm able to budget for that. But I'm really looking forward to eventually playing that game. Someone said, this is literally my first time drawing skulls. Then be proud of it. Be proud of yourself. You should make a regular habit out of doing this. Get lots of good quality skull reference. You can start with the 3D models in that Sketchfab folder I have. I'll link that again after class. And feel free to replay. This class will be on replay on Twitch through my Twitch channel video section, and you will also be able to get a replay of this through my YouTube when it's uploaded later in the week, the next day or two or so. So if you want to, like, you can actually repeat this stuff and use these sessions again multiple times in replay through YouTube or Twitch or whatever to practice this stuff again and hear me talk about it again. Watch me fuck up again. Oh, we did that one already. Let me change from that one, actually. There we go. Here's a good page to pick from. Maybe you can do a back view of skull down there if you haven't done one yet. In the future, we might go more in depth into skull anatomy, like specifics of skull anatomy, but I want people to kind of get exposed to this stuff in the broadest strokes. Just try to jump right in. If you want to on your own time, you feel free to study from some anatomy books about some of the specifics of the skull, but we in the future will get more in depth on specifics of skull anatomy. That will be for a very anatomy focused class that we'll do in the future. And it might also be part of the figure drawing class, because we're going to be getting more into anatomy and that too later. But first we're starting with mannequinization and simplification, and working our way toward, like, we're going to continuously like layer little bits of anatomical information into what we're doing, eventually like biting off a big chunk. Not unlike what we're doing here. I think that's kind of the best way to approach anatomy. Like you sprinkle it here and there in any stage you're learning at. Like, because anatomy is very overwhelming if you try to do too much of it once. Oh, that lovely Proco page skull. It's drawn by Stan Prokopенko himself. He's actually based here in San Diego, where I'm based. If he puts up another job app in the future for, like, usually around crunch time for the holidays, he hires on temporary assistants and stuff. If he puts up another job app for something like that, I might apply to that. Be an interesting networking opportunity, and also to see like how he approach, like how his operation is kind of run from the inside a little bit. Because I'm slowly evolving into an art educator. I'm not anywhere near as good as someone like him, but I'm studying from the same stuff he studied, and I'm trying to clock in the hours, and I'm using teaching as a means here to improve my skills as a big study group. Like all of you in here in this chat right now are my study buddies. We're all studying and trying to improve together. Like, I'm not a professional teacher, like I said. We're here to learn and wrestle with this stuff and fuck up and improve together. It's not unlike like what you see like Twitch streamers who stream games and try to improve their skills at the games do. You'll see them mess up. Same thing for art. Like, you're going to be grinding this, you're going to be grinding your skill at this, you're going to be practicing this. You're going to be pacing yourself so you don't get burned out. You're going to be trying to mix it up and make it more fun and interesting so you don't get bored and jaded to it. It's a really odd model. I actually may not use this one. I actually don't like this guy. Let's change that one real quick if I can find my mouse cursor. That one's better. We'll use this. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
You've got 1 minute and 10 seconds left.
Whoa. Okay. Okay, Google, add 1 minute to timer.
Done. 1 minute added to your timer.
Well, this is our last skull for the evening, folks. Let's make it a good one. I hope you all have enjoyed this evening and gotten a lot out of this. If you weren't able to be around for the whole time, you can watch the replay on Twitch when it's up later after the stream ends. You can even play it again tomorrow and get like a second round of practice in. Get more of this. Like literally, tomorrow you can replay my stream to do part of your homework. And the homework this week will be 3 pose turnaround, front, side view, and profile. No. Let me start over again. Let me start over again with that. The homework this week will be 3 pose turnaround of the head, of the skull, from front, profile view, and 3/4 view. Bonus points if you do a back view or a back 3/4 view to make it 5 poses, or other angles and stuff. But you want to put a lot of effort into that. Just do the best you can, and maybe do and redo the assignment and stuff. And I think we're pretty close to done. Let me just shift that back here. I'm going to pause it on this guy, actually. Okay, Google, stop. I'm just going to slow it down here because I want to finish this guy. Let's get a little bit more of him in there. Then we'll call it a day on the skulls. And then I'll actually show off some of Half-Life Alyx: The Final Hours. Which will be really fascinating. We'll take a look at we'll take a look at Valve's offices and stuff, because I really want to show off their art setups they have for the animators and artists there. I'm actually using what they're doing as a means of troubleshooting how I have my own setup. That and like some other art YouTubers I've seen setups of that I'm trying to pull tips from for like a better ergonomic setup for more effective drawing where I have better control and I don't mess up my back or my arm. So yeah, look at all those skulls we did today. Amazing. I'd be really impressed with seeing just how the sheer volume of like skulls people have drawn today, I think, for those who've stuck around for the whole thing. So this is my stuff from last semester, class demos from last semester. This was my warm-ups before I taught the class today. That's another little warm-up that I did real quick before class, another little demo for class. This was a demo for class today. A little sketch during the break. A big old turnaround demo. And then we get into our quick sketch stuff. And then this is what we finished with. And these are like really loose, but they're feeling a lot more solid even than when I started. And I would be interested in seeing how much more I improve from this semester to the next time we do these skulls, which will be in, I don't know, about 5 to 7 weeks from now, something like that. Although I'm gonna definitely keep practicing skulls on the side, in addition to what we did in here. But yeah, so I'll give a quick plug to my. I'm gonna take a look at Twitch chat. I'm actually going to, let's see here. I have to juggle a few things around real quick. Yeah, Alright, so I'm not ending the stream yet, but I feel that everyone who has come to the end of this session deserves this. So I'm going to put this on real quick, which is what I usually do to close the stream. I probably might play it again when I end the stream, but I think everyone here deserves this. If you've been here for the whole stream. Whoa, it froze.
Yeah.
Okay, it does not like it when I play 4K YouTube. Yeah, I'm gonna have to troubleshoot this stuff throughout the week, but yeah.
Congratulations! Congratulations! Congratulations!
Congratulations.
Congratulations!
Dang, man.
Congratulations. Thank you all.
Why does that one skull remind me of Destiny 2's death screen?
But anyway, I'm gonna close this, and let's see here. I have to figure out how I'm gonna display the game real quick. Oh, I know what I can do. Yeah. I can hear myself over someone else's microphone, so please self-mute. Spartan. Thank you. Alright, so I'm not ending the stream just yet. I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to open Half-Life Alyx, the final hours, and we'll take a look at that now. So here. Where's my Steam? Where's Steam? Oh, there it is. Okay, goody. Alright, cool. Alright, so I didn't know those were interactive. That's neat. Okay, so click begin. So this is a big giant ebook with like tons of concept art and tons of stuff on like the making of Alyx and stuff. So this guy right here, pay attention to this because we're gonna find his desk in there, and we'll be able to find it by a few key. This is one of the principal animators that was that played a huge role in setting the tone for Half-Life Alyx. And we'll pay attention to a few key features of his desk, namely that little Half-Life 1 CD and that little speaker that it's sitting on. And this little backdrop right here was like these drawings of like Sonic the Hedgehog and Bart Simpson and stuff on the back wall there. So we'll look for that in the in like the 3D walkthrough of the Valve's offices that we're going to go through in a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to skim through this real quick. There's like a lot of cool stuff that we'll check out later. I'll go back through this again. I just want to run down it real quick. Actually, maybe I'll see if I can shift down to wherever the chapter is on the animation reference they made for the facial animation. I think it might be in this chapter. Nope, not that chapter. Just keep going. Going through this at hyperspeed. Oh yeah, Jeff the zombie. This guy was a big deal for the AI development of the game. Of like Jeff the zombie was like a big deal. The blind zombie character was a big, huge deal for pushing the boundaries of what they could do in VR gameplay. For like the whole section with him, with like you interacting with the objects that can knock over, make noise, and trying to fake him out with like phantom sounds and stuff. Let's see here. Alright, I think we're getting close to it now. Because I forget every chapter it's in, but... Alright, I think we're almost there. Oh yeah, it's in the chapter. Okay. Yeah, it is. This is the chapter. But what I wanted to oh no, it's... God damn it, it's this chapter. Okay. Here we go. So, here's the facial rig for the G-Man. Being shown up by one of the animators for the game. Right here. Yeah. Showing out the different facial controls and how like the muscles interact when you push and pull the different controls. You notice they have a bunch of like custom plugins at the top bar, on the top left side. Those little colored icons for Maya for like shortcutting what they do. I would be very interested in finding out what the workflow is like for the animators in Valve Studios. Kissy lips. And then they have like a whole map of the facial controls right here to more easily access. This is pretty extensive, and they like used a combination of like they did a lot of hand animating for the facial animation in the game. I think there is some mocap in there too, but like there was a lot of video reference taken that the animators worked with. So this is by Jamal Bradley, who's a really fucking awesome animator, and his background is mainly in 2D animation. So he created these poses of like showing like the range of which the G-Man would pass through, the range of his facial expressions that he passed through for the sequences that the animators were working on. Like he designed this for the other animators to reference to when they're working on the sequences with him. And also for himself too. But yeah. These are the base shapes of the character that we'll be in. More of a core to move in and out of, and he was also working this out with the other artists and stuff, figuring this stuff out too. This is a facial expression sheet also by Jamal Bradley for Eli Vance. And some more here. Yeah, and this one, the note here is these are the expressive faces he will pass through and stay within. Yeah, Jamal Bradley is really freaking awesome. Look up more about him. He's been with Valve for like a very long time and worked on a lot of like Disney and Sony feature, like 3D feature animation. Anyway, we're going to take a look at Valve's offices in a 3D view real quick. This should be fun. We'll close out the evening with this. So I wanted to show one very important thing here, and I showed it at the start of the stream, and I'll show it again. The Sorrow Head that's peeking just around the corner right here. Oh, I want that thing. And you can help me get it if you donate to my Ko-fi link at the bottom of the page, or subscribe to me on Patreon, or sub me on Twitch, or send me bits or whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna be saving up for one of those puppies to use. Can't wait. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that this might be Jamal Bradley's workstation. Just as a educated guess. But yeah. So that one guy I was pointing out, who was like that one animator that that was shown, that like I wanted us to pay attention to where his desk was. His is I actually found it, and it's I'm getting a circle of death. Oh, did the program crash? Yeah, the program crashed. Oh, that's a shame. Okay, I'm going to restart it real quick. It'll just take a second. I've got an NVMe drive. It'll take no time to load. Just gonna skip this thing real quick. The main thing that's slowing me down is it's hard for me to see that fucking icon right there in 4K view. Where's my fucking mouse cursor? There it is. There we go. So yeah, one of the things I noticed about this is about their office design is from an aerial view, from the coloring that is in the different office spaces, it kind of looks like a Team Fortress 2 map, where we get like kind of wood paneling floors here with like red office areas and stuff on this side of the building, mainly, and then like the work area over here. Gray floors, kind of gray industrial floors, and a lot of blues. Lots and lots of blues. Not just from the office spaces here, but also like blue of the light coming through the window too, kind of. But yeah, like there's a blue wall over there, a blue wall over there, and so on. It's a kind of a neat little touch. But yeah, so the animator desk I was looking for is right down in this area. So there's other artists and stuff, like there's some riggers and concept artists and stuff over here, some really freaking awesome concept artists that are normally down over there, and some more over that way, like right here, these folks. And there's a anatomical figure here actually that I want also, this guy right here that's been pulled apart a little bit, because it has like detachable parts, and he probably pulled it apart so that it wouldn't get broken if it got jostled or something. But I want to get one of those in the future too. But the desk that I was looking for is over here, right there. It says Jay Benson's desk, who has a whole chapter devoted to him in the making of for this thing. He's got an older model of the Cintiq right there, one of this like square monitor ones right there. But yeah, he was hired to Valve like I think in 2010 because he made a bunch of like fan-made trailers and fan-made animations using Half-Life characters and stuff. And it talks the ebook talks about it pretty extensively. It's pretty cool. I would strongly recommend picking this thing up. It's really fascinating, and also this is one of the main reasons why I wanted to pick this up. This wall right here, with the bizarre Sonic the Hedgehog and Garfield and Bart Simpson and other stupid little drawings that the animators and artists doodle on the wall for fun. I think that the running gag here was that got to go fast to finish up Alex in time for launch. Here's a little concept artist corner. If anyone could help me place I don't know what this is from. I think this might be from a Team Fortress 2 thing, but I don't know. If anyone can tell me what this is from, I'd appreciate it. But I do know that this is from, this is concept art from Half-Life Alyx, right over here. And this really pretty much does look like workspaces for concept artists here. Giant ass 32-inch Cintiq. Oof. Most of the Cintiqs in here are that I've noticed are not that one. Most predominant model of Cintiq that seems to be recurring here at Valve, and at most animation studios or game studios in general, I've noticed is let me see, this guy. This is the same exact model of Cintiq that I have right here in front of me, the 22 HD Cintiq. So it's been around for a while, and it still works damn good. So lots of animation studios have those. There's another one right there. I think this might be the touch version, but same basic model. There's another one right there. These are some of the concept artists, or I think one of the guy next to him might be a rigger. So I think I saw some rigging on that, on like one of the photographs of inside the studio. But yeah, let's travel out of here real quick. this hallway is kind of neat. There's a bunch of interesting stuff going on here. Like, there's well, there's this room down here. There seems to be like some kind of like soundproofing thing going on up at the ceiling here. But in this room, there's one interesting thing I spotted, which is this guy is a effects animator or particle effects or lighting guy or whatever. And the reason I know that is right here on his desk, it's 2 copies of the volumes of the animation books, Elemental Magic, which is these wonderful pair of books on effects animation. So this guy, whoever he is a effects animator or particle animator or whatever his job category is. And you can see on this whiteboard here, there's a bunch of stuff about like talking about lighting and stuff, lighting and effects and other things. I think there's more stuff on the other side outside the office. Also, I'm really, what's up with this? The thing looks like a pair of, what's up with this chair? It looks like a pair of lips, like kissing your ass when you're on the chair. And I also noticed this, that infamous cat costume meme is up on the wall there. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a couple other things I noticed in here, like that's a pair of Titan GPUs right there on that desk, just sitting there. Good lord. And then in this room right here, there's it looks like that this person is doing a lot of GPU testing, and like testing the game, how the game runs on different GPUs and probably different systems and CPUs and configurations. It looks like they have a couple of like configurable test bench kind of setups there. In addition, yeah, there's more computers down here that they're probably doing that kind of stuff with, test different builds of the game on. So I'm not sure what's down here. I think there might be a couple more artists, but there's also there also might be programmers and level designers and gameplay designers. The person who's here is someone from Campo Santo who made the game Firewatch, and we know that because of this right here, little Firewatch logo there. I think their name is right here, Sean. I don't know the names of the Firewatch team people, but I think his name was on that little label back there. Yeah. Let's actually look that up real quick. I'm gonna look online if there's anybody named Sean Campo Santo. Sean Vanaman? Let's see. He's got a Wikipedia entry for him. That looks like a Vanaman. Yeah, Sean Vanaman. That's Sean Vanaman's desk. Okay, he is a game designer. And when I initially saw this desk, before I even noticed the Campo Santo thing right there, I saw those game boxes and I thought, oh, this is a game designer. Because like game designers will often play a lot of tabletop games as part of like their like studying and thought processing on game design. But it's really like I've got a lot. I'm gonna dig through like the ebook itself even more myself because there's a lot of text there to go through. But there's a lot of inspiration I've got out of just like traipsing through the 3D space of Valve's offices, seeing how they work and stuff, and it's really fun to kind of imagine myself working at a place like this. It gets me inspired and fired up. Like the only thing that I'm really not getting out of this is like, sadly, this entire place we're only seeing the skeleton of this work area and stuff, of these work areas. Like, I would love to see what this place is like when everyone is working there. And there's like stuff on people's screens, like stuff the concept people are working on, stuff the programmers are hammering out, and stuff the game designers are problem solving, and like stuff that people are getting up and testing and so on. I'd love to see what Valve is like when they're in full swing. Although it couldn't probably be very, if it was like in full swing, like during a crunch period or something, it probably wouldn't be too much fun. Everyone would be just like, oh god, we gotta finish this, or something. Sadly, I can't go down this area. Like, this is one of the areas that wasn't scanned. But you can see there's more Sonic the Hedgehog doodles there on the wall. Also, another thing that, yeah, a couple of their phone rooms for taking private phone calls. Yeah, more of this. So one of the things I noticed that was around here was these things, these little touchscreen kind of things here, with availability slots on them. I think what those are is touchscreens that you can ping the IT department if you need to book a room for something, or book an area, or move a desk somewhere. So they have them like all over here, all over this place for like available areas and so on. So if you need your desk moved to that spot, you can ping it. So that's like teams can get like the IT department to come in and help them set up stuff for things. That's my guess what these are for. But they, I mean, like that, and they synchronize like when stuff is scheduled to be used, like when those rooms are scheduled to be used for certain things or whatever. I believe that's the original painting of this, and that if that is the original painting, yeah, I think that is. This was on display at my college for a little while during a showing of video game art in the college gallery. Like the original painting was on display there. Really awesome. Yeah, more stuff we can't go down to. I can't go down this way, but you can see in this room here, there's a little drawing of like the Citadel kind of structure there. Men's room and a laundry drop, mail room. So I can't really go down this hallway, but I can go to the ISO view, and I can cross the hallway over here. So here's the reception area. I'll just go through a couple quick things here, like if you ever get a job at Valve, like here's the interview room they would take you to conduct the interview at. Or if you ever been considered for a job at Valve, here's the interview room. There's a couple of some kids' drawings on the wall there, it looks like. Step out of here. Go down the hallway down there. If I can find a spot, there we go. Little kind of lounge area. Like down there is like the downstairs entrance area with a bunch of more like sculptures and stuff in the lobby. There's some Dota stuff. Golden Corbar Award. I don't know what these awards are, but there's a lot. They sure have a lot of them. If anyone knows what award that statue that is, I'd like to know. There's their kitchen. Their main meeting room in there. It's a bunch of BAFTA awards and some signed portal guns and grav guns. Portal robot sculpture. And here's their their kitchen over there. And here's the merch room, which has like a collection of all the Valve merch that has been made over the years. Sampling of all the Valve merch. A lovely little showcase room. Oh man, I forgot about the Team Fortress 2 wrapping paper up there. There was like greeting cards and wrapping paper they had for a while. Where'd my mouse cursor go? There it is. I lost track of my mouse cursor. How about that? There we go. Okay. I think that's a Team Fortress 2 soundtrack album right there. Some really old school Left 4 Dead 1 and like Half-Life 2 custom computer cases down there. Dota International Mahjong playset on the right there. Instead of a bearskin rug, they have a comic panel from the Team Fortress 2 comic with Heavy fighting a bear. Oh, and one last thing I wanted to show before I get done with this here is there's an experimental walk view which converts everything into an FPS walking mode with and there's a reason why it's experimental. Yeah. The Heavy pinhead up there, Gordon Freeman getting flat down there. I'm gonna just like rush into the office real quick like this and just show you how strange this gets. The thing is, if you kind of like get used to it, it kind of does feel like you're actually there walking around in here, but it's still really weird. Oh yeah, these things right here. It's supposed to look like the bottom of the Combine's giant, like moving, devouring, like Citadel City, but because the scanning thing doesn't really quite understand these complicated shapes, it sort of created a blank space where you can see in transparently through the wall there to the other side, even though this is like a blank wall. But anyway, yeah. So this is really cool. I strongly recommend picking this up. It's like $10 for this whole ebook, and then this is just like one of the little bonus features that is in it. And just being able to see Valve's offices like this. But yeah, cool. I'm gonna wrap up the stream in a sec, so I'll give you guys the real congratulations screen maybe, and then we'll call it a night. Thank you all for coming. Hope you liked all those lovely skull drawings, mileage that we got in, and I'm gonna wrap it up shortly. You can pop over to whoever I'm gonna auto host, or you can pop back into the Discord if you like. Yeah, let's see here. Let's pop that on the screen, and now it's time for the
Congratulations! Congratulations! Congratulations!
Congratulations.
Congratulations!
Congratulations!
Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations!
Congratulations.
Congratulations! Thank you all.